What's up, guys? Another profitable trade recap. This is not futures, this is Forex. First time in a while I will do a Forex recap because, like, maybe Forex markets haven't been the same since all the tariffs budget, and it's been a tough ride on Forex. But this week we took a very fucking valid trade, played out perfectly. I sent the analysis, I sent my entry, I sent basically everything, and a lot of people on Discord followed, played out perfectly. So let's go over it right now. So first of all, these are the results people made. This is my results on a 200k challenge. Victorian's results. Then this is exactly how I sent it in the group. So you can see I sent it before, I sent guys, I entered here, and this is the after, and it played out perfectly as you can see. I will explain why I exited here and not completely at the bottom later in the video. Another challenge, then Kian, $400. Axel passed his phase 1. Big milestone personally, that's what's it all about. Fucking insane. Turkey, Rick 2.5. That's it about Forex. I think those are already again future results. So anyways, let's go to the trade. Alright, I'm gonna go in replay mode because it doesn't really matter. So I am a price action trader. I trade supply and demand, and then based on my own concept called LCC, or last candle concept. I'm not gonna explain that. If you wanna know what it is, you'll have to join my course. Anyways, we have a massive supply right there, and I always wait for it to be tapped. Right there you can see it is tapped. I then wait for a few more confirmations on a lower time frame to confirm my entry, and I think this was my entry point right here. So on the 1 hour we had a massive wick down, which for me is the first start of something great, because on the 15 minutes I also wanted kind of, you can call it a shift of structure, which happened right here. This is our last low, and then I like to enter somewhat on the breakout of that area. So not 100% sure, but I think my entry was after this candle. Stop loss is always on the last 4-hour high from my area. So as you can see, this is my area. This is the last high in that area. Stop loss just a bit above it. Take profit is the last low that is created in the market, being this one, and then I just let it play out. I had my break even level at this demand right here. Why at that one and not at this one? Because this was way too fast. This one was only 0.6 risk reward, and this was already almost 1-to-1, and 0.6 is way too fast. Price still has there is still a tight space for price to come back, and we could have took us out at break even, so that's why I give it a bit more room. So this is literally everything I did to enter. Break even right there, and then everything I had to do literally was just wait. I was struggling here a bit because I really like this push, a very great push of course because of the big supply, but then the one thing that concerned me was this trend line. And I sent it, I will show you guys in the Discord, I sent it a couple of times. It was just a matter of time before we would break it and drop down like a motherfucker, because this liquidity buildup is insane. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then all these touches just confirm it was a massive trend line. And I hated it because he went below it. I was like, nice. Then he closed above it. Same thing, same thing, same thing. And then this was at night, I think. Oh yeah, I moved my stop loss back right here before spread hour. I told everyone to move it back to break even after spread hour. And then I think during the, not during the night, but after, yeah, starting London session, we had our first confirmed breakout. 1 hour close below it. I don't know if it also was a 4-hour close. 4-hour close below it. Second 1 hour, yeah, you can see just started dropping. We created a new lower low. We struggled here a bit, and then after we just completely dropped down. Now, why did I already close here? Very good question. So this is the start of your trend line, meaning that this for me is a big point in the market. You can also see it on previous timestamps. Right here we rejected it, right here we rejected it again, and then where the trend line started. So for me there was a nice area to reject it from, and then of course we have this big ass demand zone laying here, and also this point was, oh, was my entry a bit lower? I think this point was almost like 2.5, 2.7 risk reward. So for me, way more than enough. It's a very valid trade, and I was not risking it on this big ass demand zone to reverse on me. So that's why I bada boom, bada boom, bada boom, closed here, and eventually price broke through. So I could have held. I could. The worst words to use in trading are I could, I would have, blah blah. Doesn't matter. More than 2.5 risk reward sent to everyone. I'm very happy with that. So let's go over the setup in general. So where is the first time? Here, this is the first time I sent setup. Just simple 4-hour analysis, marking out my demand, marking out my trade idea. Then next thing I did, yipla forex. I entered shorts here. You just have to follow. You can mark all my levels. Red line is where I was looking for an entry, stop loss, break even level, full TP. I then mentioned I moved stop loss to break even. Gonna move stop loss back. And then this is where I started telling them, guys, if you break this trend line, it's game over. It's time to nuke. Got him to it because he kept rejecting it. And then right here, indeed, at 9, we had a confirmed breakout. And then I said, everyone, we also failed to make a high because this one did not came above this one. And now the next step is to make a lower low, which we then did. We broke this previous low, created our lower low. So for me, I was completely bearish, and that's really good to see. Take out the broom, indeed, sweep, and bam, exactly here, closed at 2.5 risk reward. That's literally everything what I do about this trade. Full analysis. Yeah, there is nothing more to be said about this. My strategy is kind of simple. You just have to master it. But forex is so different than futures, guys. This trade is market experience. This trade is years of losing and just knowing that when he breaks this trend line, it's game over. Yeah, like I said, it's market experience, and it will only come over time if you try and try and try and try. That's it. That was the forex trade of the week. Very glad we could bring that back, and I'm hyped for next week because I'm not gonna trade anymore due to news. However, I had one more setup that is also playing out, not entering because of news. So that's it for this forex week straight recap. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you next week when we catch another one.